I have never met an entrepreneur, business owner, or creator who started a business just so that they could do business. If you're like them, you started a business because you love the opportunity you saw, or you love what you were doing, and then you figured out a way you can make money at it. And then once you got into it, you discovered, oh, I've got to run a business. And probably thought, I got to be a business expert to do that. Well, here's the good news. You don't. All you need to do is get business savvy. And that leads us to our huge announcement.
Welcome to the Live Truly Free podcast.
So that's the last time you're going to hear that intro. We're changing the name of the podcast to Get Business Savvy. So we've been doing, this is our 52nd podcast. So that's a year's worth of podcasts.
And it only took us 54 weeks to do it.
We're awesome. Yeah. So AJ wants full credit. Great. 54 weeks, 52 podcasts. So our 53rd, to begin our second year of podcasts, we're going to call it Get Business Savvy.
Yeah, we've already changed the name on our YouTube channel, and we can just get into some of the reasons why. We've been thinking about this for a while, but I wanted to ask you, what's the number one reason you thought about changing the name of the podcast here?
That's a great question. So I actually started thinking about this all the way back to episode 27, when we did a podcast on, in the title, it's Business Savvy. And I tell a story about a client that I'm telling him I can help him get business savvy, and he just lights up. And you should go listen to that episode. It's a good story, good podcast. And ever since then, I've been thinking that's what we're really doing here. And in looking back over 51 episodes, most of those episodes have some element of what you need to have business savvy.
Yeah, and the main reason I really like to change it, what I've been interested in this whole time is, since I've met you, is I've been trying to get business savvy. I didn't know it exactly in those words when I first met you, but as we've talked, that's exactly what an entrepreneur listener should be looking to get. It's just that savviness. You can learn hard skills and all of that, but the general savviness and being able to apply it to all situations is kind of what we're here to look for. And that being said, I think this gives us an endless amount of topics to talk about, because business savviness is pretty much in everything that we see here in the world, as we've talked about over the last couple of weeks with Coach Prime as an example. And like me, I'm guessing there's a bunch of other people who are interested in that concept of business savviness. And I'm wondering, have you experienced that with the entrepreneurs you've helped guide and lead?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, what I think we've kind of swerved into over the last 12 months in particular is this is a huge area for entrepreneurs, business owners, creators, anyone with a business. They are desperately wanting business savvy. And literally every single entrepreneur, business owner I've ever led with or guided, they hate the business side of their business, but they love what they do in the business. And this is a problem. And what I've done with, especially the entrepreneurs I've helped guide, is I teach them and guide them in getting more business savvy. And I just never called it that, but that's exactly what I've done.
Okay, so since you've come to this revelation, what happened to Live Truly Free then?
So, okay, Live Truly Free is still out there, and it's livetrulyfree.com. You're supposed to say it 3 times so people get it. So livetrulyfree.com, and I'll say it one more time in a minute. So I'm trying to be good with branding and marketing. The website, livetrulyfree.com, is all about guiding entrepreneurs and leaders to greater freedoms in business, money, time, lifestyle, purpose, all that sort of stuff. So it's much broader in concept, and there's product services that you can get there for that. Get business savvy. What we go back and look at those topics like I talked about, it just made more sense. That's the focus of the channel. The things we offer at livetrulyfree.com will help strengthen your business savvy, and that's one of the benefits. So Live Truly Free hasn't gone anywhere. And in fact, I want everyone to live truly free. So I'm going to keep wishing you to do that, like we've done on the 52 podcast. So we're going to keep that going.
So you've mentioned a couple of times this concept of a lot of entrepreneurs feel like they need to be a business expert. And I know I definitely feel like that. That's part of the reason I went to school to study business, is I need to be an expert at it. But the concept of business savviness, you're saying, is not the same thing. And I'm kind of wondering, what's the difference between being an expert in business and having business savvy?
Yeah, that's good. And you're right. I think there's a huge difference. And let's kind of talk through some ideas on this, because I think it helps you understanding business savvy when you know what it's not and what it is. So we'll do both, okay? And one of the top things in my mind is leadership. Think about experts, and just think about, and this is leadership in the business side. So you can lead your business, and you've got to know certain things about business to be a good business leader. But business experts don't lead. I've worked with lots of business experts, and we need business experts, whether it's accounting or legal or insurance or whatever it is. We need those experts, okay? But we need to be able to lead those experts.
We don't need to be the experts.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and that difference between leading and doing, I think, is a huge one, because a banker can be a business expert, but they just know how to bank. A lawyer could be a business expert on the legalities of whatever industry. At the end of the day, they only know how to do legal. Or a marketing person knows just how to market or how to read a market. Economics, same thing. Finance, same thing. We just know how to project your cash flow.
Websites, branding, you just name it.
But as a leader, you're responsible for all of those things working together to create a profitable operation.
Right. And the problem is, you can't just trust the experts to have the best interest of your business. So in other words, in business savvy, you've got to be able to go, whoa. You've got to ask questions, and you've got to really dig into what are they doing. So you have to understand what they're doing, but not even know how to do it.
Like you just talked about that example. We talked about this on how to talk to bankers and lawyers and insurance people before. They might not have the best interest of your business. That insurance guy might want you to buy insurance.
Well, exactly.
They don't see the bigger picture of this insurance in your business. They just see this insurance policy they want you to have.
Right. Because their interests aren't your interest, and there's no way they know what your business interests are. They have no idea your passion, the direction of your business. And so as I help lead these businesses, I did know that. Or as I'm guiding entrepreneurs today, I know that. I know their perspective. I get into their head and I get an understanding of their business. And then you get some proposal and you're like, yeah, that doesn't work, or that totally works. And it comes down to business savvy. And this is huge. Operating with wisdom and common sense. Whereas the business expert, they operate with knowledge and technicalities.
Okay, that really clarifies it. So business savvy, you have to see the big picture, and is being able to see the big picture. But a business expert, you don't really have to see the big picture at all. You just have to know what's going on in your silo and what you have to do. Isn't that right?
Well, yes, unless you're a business expert or trying to be a business expert leading your own business, then you're so far into the weeds. And look, guys, this happens to all of us, that we get into the weeds, we lose the big picture, and that's what you get exhausted from, because you're trying to do stuff and it's not what you love. And that's why I work a lot with entrepreneurs to help them get their passion back for their first love, which was the business, not the business stuff.
Oh man. Did I just spend 4 years, and I'm not even going to say how much money, on learning how to be in the weeds?
Probably. I did. I did exactly the same thing.
Oh, yeah, the school, it all seemed like it's just how to do these things, how to do these practice problems or do this spreadsheet. It's literally all just the details, or you can go be an accountant and you just learn all the accounting side of things. It was all just details and in the weeds. They didn't, I'm just kind of at a loss for words right now. I spent, you get a business degree and you don't become business savvy. You can only get in the weeds of a certain area of business.
Let me help orient you, AJ, to where you are, and probably everyone listening to this right now. So it's taking me a long time to get to where I could sort of figure this all out. You cannot learn business savvy in a class, in a business degree course, in an e-course. You have to experience business savvy.
Well, George, don't you literally have a course online called Get Business Savvy?
Yes, I do. And you can go to getbusinesssavvy.com to get my free e-course called Get Business Savvy. But okay, so this is the thing. I actually say in the opening video, you can't get business savvy in an e-course. You have to do it. So I think what it should be called is an e-do it. It's just nobody's going to know what an e-do it is. So,
and not the most marketable phrase.
Right. No, an e-do it. I mean, what in the world are we talking about? So I'm calling it an e-course, but just know if you want to get any value out of it, you've got to e-do it.
So how did you do it? How did you get business savvy then?
Yeah, that's a great question. So first of all, a lot of years. All right. And so one of my passions is helping lead companies, and particularly on the business side of the business. So I am one of those guys who really does have a business passion for the business. It's like, so I'm the perfect match. And that's actually how I started helping lead companies, because I'm the perfect match for these guys. But the other thing is I love lots of scenarios. So, and I've lost count now. I think I've actually worked in almost 30 industries. And I've helped lead 19 companies and guide countless other entrepreneurs. I have seen a ton of situations. The nice thing is, like when we've been in lawsuits or bankruptcies and, partner dissolutions and all this kind of stuff, I'm getting gobs of experience without all the emotion tied to it, because it's not my deal. It's not, I'm not being sued. I'm helping them get out of it, that sort of thing. So I've worked with tons of lawyers, tons of bankers, tons of accountants, insurance people, all kinds of stuff. That I have. And then it's like literally this year, I've kind of woken up and just go, wow, I have a lot of business savvy. So that's my gift to you guys, is business savvy. This was given to me. I want to give it to you guys and help you get business savvy. And it's this podcast and other stuff.
And that's why I think the name is so fitting, because you've had the experience to get business savvy. And I'm currently on a journey to get business savvy. And so I think just having that dynamic play out for people, I'll ask all the dumb questions and share my mistakes. And you've got all the stories of mistakes you've made and stuff like that. So it's kind of like this podcast gives us an opportunity to transmit some of that experience and help our listeners get business savvy quicker than they otherwise would have. But I'm also curious, if there's a shortcut, do I have to spend as many years as you have trying to get business savvy?
And you mean, and go through all the crap I've been through?
Yeah.
I truly believe this. The answer is no, you don't. But it's still going to take some time. So here's what I'm doing. I'm launching a Get Business Savvy Mastermind for entrepreneurs, business owners, creators, so that through a group of people, we're going to share business experiences that we're having and actually struggles. So, and then we're going to navigate those together. Here's my theory. I'm pretty sure this will work because it's worked with me. I don't have to experience everything out there in the business world, but I need to hear as much of that kind of stuff as possible and watch people navigate them. And like, so my job will be leading this mastermind that I'm going to bring all of my experience to bear. And I have found in this dynamic, because I've done this before, that I've got experience that's going to probably address most stuff out there, and if it doesn't, I know where to guide you to go get what you need for that situation. So by being a part of that, you're going to be exposed to things you may never get exposed to, but it's going to help you lead your business better.
Yeah, I love that. It's just like the concept I was talking about with the podcast is by us just sharing our experiences, it's helping our listeners get more business savvy just by, you hear the mistakes that I've made. And so maybe you learn, okay, I heard AJ made this mistake before, so I'm not going to do that. So that's just one road that you didn't go down that would have led you astray. And I love that in the mastermind too, is you get a group of people who can all share their experiences together, bringing everything that they've done to the table, and everybody gets to learn of other experiences. So even if they don't experience it and they don't know fully this situation, they have a very good idea of what happened to somebody else and how they handled the situation. So they at least will have a frame of reference for which you can be savvy from.
Yeah, and we're going to do some other things with it too. So it's not just the session, but we're going to build a community in Discord for everybody in all the masterminds. So we have multiple masterminds. Everybody will be in the same community, where you can have a Discord chat or a one-on-one, however you want to do it, on particular issues. So you get the community chiming in on stuff. I think this is, and it's all around the idea of how do I lead my business with business savvy? And I don't want to be the expert. I don't want to be pulled into all that stuff because I love what I do. So we want to keep the passions hot for what you love. And we want to add to that your ability to lead your business.
So our listeners can just go to getbusinesssavvy.com to find out more?
Yes, go to getbusinesssavvy.com and you can get the free eCourse, or really the free e-do-it. You can also find out more about the Business Savvy Mastermind. Also, I would love to hear, what are your business savvy gaps? What are you missing? What struggles do you have? So leave comments in the YouTube channel or send us an email. And in the meantime, go to getbusinesssavvy.com and check out this podcast right here. I know you're going to love it. It's episode 27. What is business savvy? And until next time, may you live truly free.